This was day 1, and things escalated fast. I blew a hole the size of a small country, and instead of fixing it, I built a base in it. 8 months later, thousands of blocks, one guy with way too much time on his hands.
Aww.
I gathered every material, I suffered, I thrived, I misplaced so many slabs. What? Who wrote this? And now, after half a year of questionable decisions, it's finally done. Today is the day. The day that I finally finish what I started so long ago. After about 3 months of designing this thing in creative, it's finally done. Alright, let's just take a look at the materials and... 1 million blocks. You've got to be kidding me. Once I'd finally come to terms with this number, I started off by grabbing the basics, like a bell, a loom, an oak pressure plate, what? And many other things. In order to avoid mining over 100,000 terracotta, I decided to make a dirt farm. So I started gathering the materials. This farm was designed by Cubicmetre and is on more of the technical side. So anyway, I got to building. And in just under an hour, the farm was done. I quickly built a TNT blast chamber, also designed by Cubicmetre, in order to store all of the dirt. After all of that, I went to go test the farm, and sure enough, it didn't work. I just wasted 3 hours. Nice. Accepting my losses, I decided to gather some of the more bulky items, like moss and concrete. The next farm I built was a Sculk farm, which was designed by IanXO4. As well as a Basalt farm designed by Big Booty 17. Finally, I found another dirt farm design by Encrypted, which I decided to take a chance on. And to my surprise, this one actually worked. In order to turn the dirt into clay, I found a clay converter designed by Ilmango, which converts dirt to mud and dries the mud out into clay. After the farm broke, I had finally gathered enough clay and smelted it down into terracotta. Once that was done, I dyed them into their respective colors. And also quickly made a cocoa bean farm. The next farm I needed to make was a gold and bartering farm, since the update to 1.21 broke my last farm. The design I'm going with is by Potato Noir. This farm involves using a llama to aggro the zombie piglins. After finishing up the farm and the overworld side, I built a spawning platform in order to get piglins and move them into the farm. And finally, it was ready for its first test. Next, I needed nearly 40,000 deep slate tiles, so I decided to make a tunnel bore to make things faster. Another thing I needed a lot of was oak leaves, so I tried to make a leaf farm, which inevitably did not work. So I put on a movie and did it all manually. Finally, the last blocks I needed was 20,000 wool. The farms I had right now weren't exactly cutting it, so I decided to make a wool farm designed by Mr. Max Mondays, which also called for a lot of honey, so I needed to make a new honey farm. This farm is designed by Ajax Minecraft. Once the farm was built, I AFK'd for a bit and finally had enough to start building the wool farm. I kidnapped some sheep from the local area and cleared some land to build an enclosure for them. After about nearly 3 hours of building the farm, it was time to move in the first layer of sheep. And let me tell you, this was tedious. Nearly an hour and a half later, I finally finished the first layer. A couple of more hours, the second layer, and finally the last layer. After dumping half of my iron reserves into making shears, the farm was ready to start. And nearly 2 hours later, I finally had all the wool I needed and was ready to start building. I quickly built a massive platform in the center of the hole where I would keep all of the materials. Just because of the sheer number of materials I had, it took about an hour and a half to move every shulker box over. And finally, I was ready to start. Well, not quite yet. First, I needed to dig out a giant hole in the hole for the Nether Portal. Now we're ready to start, and here is the first block. With the Nether Portal now done, I started on the first chunk of the cave. After finishing the first third of the cave, I quickly made a cave entrance to the storage system and a river entrance for a water feature. With all of that done, it's time to do the next third with this really cool transition. Oh, that was awesome. Seems like a great way to sum up 8 hours. Anyway, about 16 hours into building, I finally started on the last third. I built a carrot and potato farm using a trading hall. In this episode of Hardcore Minecraft, I made 3 new farms to prepare myself for the upcoming Minecraft. Minecraft is my upcoming mega project range anywhere from super past 6 months of my life is preparing. Things escalated just fast. I blew a hole the size of a small country. Instead of fixing it, I built a base. 8 months later, thousands of blocks, one guy, way too much time left. Just gotta clean this up, and then it's done. So yeah, I spent nearly a year underground. Was it worth it? Absolutely not, but I'd do it again. Some people climb mountains, others sail oceans. I blew up a hole and put lanterns in it. I've sorted more items than I care to admit, I've mined blocks I didn't even use, and somewhere along the way, I forgot what grass looks like. I haven't seen the sky in days. Please send help. All jokes aside, thank you all so much for watching this video and supporting this series. Though it may be small, this channel holds such a special place in my heart, and I am so grateful to be able to explore my creativity with all of you. Leave a like if you've ever blown something up just to make it prettier. Comment how long your biggest build took. And finally, subscribe, or I'll fill your house with gravel.